Ciao, buonasera a tutti, un saluto di Inter Worldwide. My name is Anthony and thank you for joining us for Everything Inter, which will kind of be a combined Inter transfer daily as we look to bring you some of the biggest headlines as well as a Sassuolo match preview. I am joined by the one and only Bruninho. Bruno, how you doing, mate?
Thanks, Anthony. Thank you for having me, and Forza Inter.
Forza Inter, how good is it to have Serie A action back this weekend? I feel like it's been a long time, way too long since we've seen some calcio. So I'm looking forward to it big time against what would be known as our bogey side, Sassuolo. So before we go into a match preview with Bruno and his stat corner, we'll move into some of the headlines that's making Inter news. So excuse me that I don't get anything wrong. We're going to start with Keita Balde. Now, Keita Balde didn't have the best of starts to his Inter career, but, you know, in the recent matches in Serie A, he had a resurgence to form, scoring some critical goals against Frosinone and also the critical goal against Empoli, I think it was, while also providing a lot of spark on the right wing that was needed. Now, we are looking to purchase him at the end of the season, and Beppe Marotta has come out and said today that he's quite keen in redeeming Keita Balde, just not for that 34 million euro fee. Now, as we know, he is on loan to us from Monaco, who are struggling immensely in Ligue 1. So we are hoping that, you know, we don't want to wish any other teams ill faith and whatnot, but we are hoping that if negotiations go well, we can redeem Keita Balde for a smaller price, as 34 might be a little bit too extensive. Bruno, I'll throw it out to you. What do you reckon Keita Balde? What do you think a more respectable price tag is for him, and what do you think Maratta's going to put on the table?
With Monaco's current status, if they get relegated, we're looking anywhere between 23 to 28 million. If they don't get relegated, they're going to want to hold on to him, and I don't think they will budge, especially with the season he's had with us here at Inter. I think they need that youthfulness back into the team, so I think they won't budget that 35 million, but fingers crossed, Marotta works his magic as we have seen him do in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing that we are hearing out of the media today is that Keita Balde has suffered a muscular injury to his thigh. Not the news that we wanted. However, it doesn't sound that serious. If it was more serious, we would have heard something a little bit more by now. He did have an MRI, and I think the latest out is that he'll miss 2 or 3 matches tops. If that is the case, then that's fine. To be honest, he probably wouldn't have started this weekend anyway. Sassuolo being Matteo Politano's former club, and a little bit of media attention focused around him this week, you know, we probably expect him to start on the weekend. Moving on to our next headline, and a very positive headline. But you know what, as an Interesta, this one never really bothered me. Milan Skriniar and his agent today have apparently held talks with Inter and have come to a verbal agreement that in mid-February, a contract renewal and extension will be on the cards. This is exceptionally important for us. Milan Skriniar, of course, linked to Manchester United and a whole host of other clubs. But he has continued to be, you know, a leading example, reiterating the fact that he wants to stay at Inter. Bruno, what does it mean to re-sign Milan Skriniar in February? And, you know, is this the kind of guy that we're looking to keep for the rest of his career, probably?
Milan Skriniar, I think he's one of the most humble players Inter's got. He's very reminiscent of a very young Zanetti. And I feel that if the directors, if they didn't approach him for a contract renewal, he wouldn't be asking for more money. I just think he loves the culture at Inter. He loves playing there. And I feel he feels like he deserves to be there. And he's learnt a lot. And fingers crossed, I'm over the moon. He is extending his contract. But fingers crossed, he is a long-term life contract player for Inter, because I would hate to see him leave.
Absolutely. I don't think anyone would be happy to see him leave or go anywhere. In terms of transfers, there hasn't been much news about anyone incoming. Nothing to update you in terms of the central midfield department. There have been a couple of leaked rumors over the last couple of days that Luka Modric is definitely not going to renew his contract, but we're not going to renew our interest in that story here tonight. Not until we have something a little bit more concrete. Anyway, that'll do for me at the moment in terms of the current headline. So we're going to switch over to this week's match against Sassuolo, which I am so excited for. We've got Serie A action back where it belongs, and it is against the team which we started off very, very fortunately when they came into the Serie A. We had some huge results against them, but then we have seen them become our bogey side, and we haven't got, you know what, I can't even remember off the top of my head. This is what Bruno does best. Bruno, throwing it out to you. Let's talk Sassuolo. Go for it, mate.
It's halfway through the season. Like, as excited as I am, it's saddening to have watched already half and have that come to an end. But before we go into this week's game, I'm not going to talk about this season. I'm not going to talk about this match. I'm not going to talk about this year. I'm going to wind the clock back, all the way back to September 22nd, 2013. Right? Inter won 7-0. Almost exactly a year later, Inter beat Sassuolo again, 7-0. Now, in September of 2013, our first 7-0 win, let me tell you some of the goal scorers. Rodrigo Palacio, Diego Milito. Now, let's fast forward 1 year. Some of the goal scorers, Mateo Kovacic, Pablo Osvaldo. Now, Icardi scored a hat-trick there, but Anthony, tell me, a year difference, and it sort of makes you cringe a bit, doesn't it? Milito to Osvaldo, Palacio to Kovacic. I don't know. It's frustrating, but moving on. This is a repeat of the first match of the season against Sassuolo, where we did drop points. We lost 1-0. It was disgusting, but they are our bogey team. Now, this is the second and final match that will be played behind closed doors following the incidents during the Napoli game. And now, we did play the first match against Benevento. We did win 6-2, but that is Benevento. We needed our fans for this match, and it was critical. And I just feel it's not a home match for us. Yeah, it's at the San Siro, but we've got a bunch of school kids watching, and I just feel the atmosphere is not going to be there. Now, as I mentioned, they are the bogey team. Inter's lost 5 of their last 6 against Sassuolo, and that is a figure that, it's terrifying. And out of those last 6, we have only managed to score 1 goal. We cannot score more than 1 goal. So our attack is critical on this day. Now, have we changed since the first round of the season? Yes, we've definitely developed now. Sassuolo, have they changed? Yes, they definitely have. Sassuolo are currently on a 3-game losing streak, losing to Napoli most recently. They've conceded 11 goals in the last 3 games and only scored 3. Most recently, they got knocked out of the Coppa Italia by Napoli. On the other hand, Inter, 3-game winning streak. We've beaten Napoli, Empoli, and Benevento. We have scored 8 goals and only conceded 2, and those were those 2 goals against Benevento, and I can't argue with that. Ranocchio was playing, so what can you do there? We have the upper hand, I have a feeling, in this match. Other than Keita, I think we've got a full squad available. Nainggolan has been getting to training early and practicing a lot harder. I think since Marotta's got there, sort of given him that wake-up call Nainggolan needed to show that no one's invincible. I think he's handing out fines left, right and centre there. Nainggolan, Icardi, and they're not small ones either. Key players, Sassuolo key players, we've got Kevin Prince Boateng. If he doesn't play, it will be critical for us. It will be the best case scenario if he doesn't start. He was fundamental for them throughout the first half. Now, I don't know if I'm going to say it wrong, and Samo will probably most edit this part of the video if I do, but Kuma Babakar, I think his name is. He's in the midfield of Sassuolo, and he's their top goal scorer for the season so far, scoring 5. He is dangerous, and who can forget Domenico Berardi? Always pops up. He's Sassuolo's Vecino. Pops up when you least expect it and gets that goal. So they've got some players to look out for as well. We've got our captain Icardi. Now, This time last season, he had a couple more goals than what he did now. But in saying that, we weren't in the position that we are in now. And I just feel he's got that, he's got to put the events of the last week or so, and you could agree with me here, Anthony, or not, but I have a feeling that the whole Wanda Icardi transfer news could not just impact him, but the team. What do you think?
Yeah, look, I think that the news has died down a little bit just in time enough for the match against Sassuolo. We saw that the team played very well against Benevento. We were very, very well collected from the start of the match. And hopefully Icardi coming out at halftime after doing his job well. It was a good little, I don't want to say training match because Benevento's still a competitive side. You know, they're not that bad. But it was the perfect platform for us to relaunch and just to see if there was any bad toxicity still lingering in the air. So I think the Benevento game was a really good way to kick us back into gear, and I'm really hoping that it transcends into a really good result against Sassuolo.
Yeah, and Politano, player to watch, facing his old team. He has scored against Inter. Whilst he's played for Sassuolo, I believe he scored a double in their 3-1 win a couple years back. But he did score a double against us there. I just feel it's his time to start proving himself. If he wants to make himself an Inter player, he needs to pick up the ball now and go with it. He's been mediocre at best. He's had some great games. He's had some pretty average games. And, you know, when you've got to choose between Politano and Candreva, you really want someone to be able to step up. So I feel this game will be his injection of adrenaline, hopefully. And Nainggolan, I feel if he plays, if he starts, he will be critical for us. Not going to keep us too long now, but Inter sitting in 3rd, Sassuolo sitting in 12th. I feel we will get the win. I hope we will get to a win. If I was going off those stats, if I was going off current form, I would say Inter 2-0. Going off history, going off Inter, I'm going to say Inter 1-1. I don't like the idea of it, but it's Inter. It's Inter. I can't argue with that. Anthony, what do you think?
Well, you know what? I need a little bit more time to think about it, man. So the responsibility has to fall on Raphael's shoulders now. So, Raphael, we're crossing to you. What are your thoughts going into this one, my friend? We all want to hear it.
Sassuolo this weekend, boys. I know you're fucking nervous, but don't be. I'm telling you now, they're going to do them by minimum 2+. We're going to have too much quality, too much character on the pitch, and I think the formation is going to be right to beat them. You know, we've had a lot of negative results against Sassuolo, and it's time to fucking turn the hatchet over. They've really been a thorn in our shoe. I don't always want to sound positive, but I really think that Inter are going to have too much quality for these guys, and it's about time. I think Nainggolan's going to start from the start. He's going to be a real beast on the pitch. I'm telling you now, boys, if he doesn't start, I'll be really shocked. We're going to have a good game from Politano, I think. I'm really hoping that we really win this game, and I'm confident about it. Till next time, Forza Inter, boys. See you later.
Yeah, thanks, Raphael. I really, really like your confidence, man. It really is it's reassuring, that's for sure. And, you know, with Bruno's confidence as well, I'm going to have to float in that direction as well. I'm going to go with Inter 3-1. 2 goals for Icardi and a goal for Politano as well against his former club. Crossing to you as well, my friend Christian over in the States. Give us your thoughts on it, please, mate.
It's Christian Rivas from Inter Club DC and Inter Worldwide. My scoring prediction for this weekend is going to be 2-0 Inter. All right, that's it.
What is up, everybody? It's your boy Mario here with a prediction for this weekend's match, Inter Sassuolo. I'm going to go with a 1-0 win this weekend. We got my man Danilo D'Ambrosio scoring a bomba. That's it. Back to you. Forza Inter Worldwide.
Thanks for that, Christian, mate. We'll be hearing from you again soon. Guys, we thank you for tuning in tonight. We've only got one more news headline. Jack Ma, president and owner of Alibaba, is said to be buying into the final 31% of Eric Tahir's shares with Inter. He's a Hong Kong billionaire and one of the richest men in Asia. He has great relations with Suning, and we are reading that the deal should be closed and done closer towards the end of the season. Let us know what you think in the comments below. At the moment, that's all we've heard coming out of Inter, but this story is sure to progress over the next couple of weeks, so we'll keep you updated on that. Guys, we thank you for tuning in once again to Inter Worldwide's Everything Inter. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and also head to our website for all the latest news where we are bringing you constant content every single day. We will see you again straight after Sassuolo. Crossing over to Bruno, thank you, my friend, for joining us, and we hope to hear from you again soon.
Ciao, Anthony. Thank you for having me. And as always, Forza Inter.
No worries, guys, and see you later. Forza Inter, as always. Ciao.